Hi there, JP here. It's Saturday morning in San Francisco, and I'm following Cubby down the hill. He's waiting for me, but I'm going to come back to you over here. Yeah, there I am. So I don't know what time it is. It's, after 9:30, let's say, on Saturday morning, and it's a beautiful morning, cold. But this morning I wanted to talk to you a little bit about something known as semiotics. Actually, I'm not going to give you a lesson on semiotics. That's really boring, something boring to talk about. What's interesting is how it relates to what we do in our daily conversations about politics and culture, and some things some things we've been talking about actually lately. So I was trying to organize this in my head because I'm walking Cubby and trying to make sure that I'm very succinct about how I describe this to you, and make sure that what I'm saying is clear. So semiotics or semiology is the study, or the theory rather, the theory of signs and symbols, and how they connect to larger, broader contexts in our lives, and how we communicate. And that's a sort of a basic description, and it's probably not completely correct, but it's very long-winded and is connected to critical theory and thought. The other day, so two things have been going on. One is that the last couple of videos that Julie and I have done, we mentioned the whole transgender toilet issue that's going on, and I'm just keeping an eye on Cubby here, and. We mentioned how, and Julie said this too, how, it's not really the toilet issue that's upsetting, now she's speaking for some friends of hers, but I can imagine that overall it's not the toilets that they're the issue for trans kids or transgender people. It's something else, and I'll get to that. The other day, yesterday, the day before, a friend of Julie's and mine too on Facebook, made a comment, and I don't know if it was directed towards our position or what. It seemed kind of random, but basically what she said was, ask the black people from the civil rights era if they think, or even now I suppose, if they think that a whites only drinking fountain is a big deal. Or is not hurtful, or I forget the exact quote, but basically bringing that up, and I guess it was made as a comparison to the issue with the transgender bathrooms. Okay, so let's break that down and kind of look at it, because it's, first of all, it's out of context, but it's an okay metaphor. But let's relate that to what I was talking about a moment ago, signs and symbols. So if we look at the drinking fountain. It's basically a sign. Okay, it's a symbol of something larger. Okay, so it's a symbol of white suppression and racism in the broader context of the American South, the Jim Crow era up through the Civil Rights era, and how do I put it? So it's a small portion of the broader context. So ask people, it's like, well, are you upset about, the drinking fountains? Well, yes, of course I'm upset about drinking fountains, but I'm also upset about the fact that I'm treated as a second-class citizen. It's not just the drinking fountain, It's not just the fact that I have to go through a separate door to go into the movie theaters and sit in a separate section. It's not just that I have to sit in the back of the bus. It's not any of those one things. But it's the fact that, I am treated like a second-class citizen. I'm afraid for my life most of the time. I'm treated like dirt. That's what I'm concerned about. I'm concerned about the fact that I can't vote in the country, and that at any time me or my family could be terrorized or actually killed, and killed in a very horrible way by people who have complete control over the situation and won't be punished for their actions. but about drinking fountains, yeah, sure, that's fucked up. But the broader context is what's the issue. So we in America, we love, well, everybody. I mean, it's a human thing. We love symbols, and in America, we use symbols in our political discourse quite a bit. I mean, the problem with it is, okay, the good side of it is this. It makes it easy to focus in on an issue or a bigger thing that's going on. So whether the people who were part of the civil rights movement back in the 50s and 60s chose the drinking fountain or the buses or whatever, one symbol as that thing to say, this is why we need, change. This is why, this is, everything's wrong. This is what's going on. Or if it was a liberal white photographer, photojournalist or something coming along and saying, oh my God, they have separate drinking fountains for whites and blacks in the American South. Okay, so got a little... So whether that, it doesn't matter who did that, it still serves as that symbol for what's going on in the broader context, okay? So it's bad, but it's not the whole thing, okay? But it's a thumbnail. It's a thing that people can point to and show as, part of what's going on. The problem with us using symbols in American political discourse and in culture in general is that in America especially, it becomes the thing. Okay, so the symbol then becomes the issue, and it allows us to create sound bites and just focus in on that one little thing. Okay, so the drinking fountain becomes the symbol or the stand-in really for the civil rights movement. Okay, in the way we talk about it, right? We reduce it down to the drinking fountain, not civil rights. Okay, so let's jump ahead to the present and this whole issue with transgender bathroom usage. Okay, yeah, it's pretty fucked up, and it kills me how my liberal friends just love to just point to that one part of the whole. Okay, so it's the bathrooms. The bathrooms. Oh, by the way, these are. You can see in the background, speaking of symbols, these are some symbols of San Francisco behind me, beautiful Victorians. This is the same street that the Seven Sisters or the painted ladies are on. Those right here, these are not the painted ladies, but they're on the same block. They're pretty impressive. Okay, symbols. So my liberal friends love to look at the bathroom as the issue. Come on, Cubby, come on, come. He's been running out into the street lately, so this is a busy corner, so I have to keep an eye on him. And what the problem with that is this, that, it reduces the whole issue of treating transgender people as, actual people, okay? They're humans, it's treating them in a lot of ways in reverse othering, meaning, they're the other, and I'll get into that in a second, but it reduces the whole argument or the whole discourse down to, bathroom usage by transgender people, and it allows the other side, the conservatives, to focus in on that one issue as well, right? So that they can use it as a stick, as a means of criticizing our argument, or the left's argument of people should be treated equally, no matter what their sexual orientation or their their view of who they are and their sexuality and their whatever it may be, so it opens up to easier criticism by focusing down on a very simplistic argument, okay, very simplistic metaphor, the bathroom issue, okay. And they can use it as a weapon against us, like, I don't want my little girl to be in the bathroom with a boy who thinks he's a girl, that kind of shit. So simplifying the argument allows you to also simplify the attack. Okay. So I was going to make a point a moment ago about a part of this. Okay, so my point was this. When we reduce these down to simplified, metaphors and things like that, we also ignore the people that are part of it, right? So, for instance, the Black Civil Rights Movement. We reduce the argument down to whites only, blacks only drinking fountains, but we ignore the fact that people are being treated as second-class citizens. They're not being treated like humans. They're reduced to cartoons on either side. Okay, so from the racist point of view, they're not human. Okay, they're second-class citizens. On the liberal side, okay, they're reduced to people that need to be saved. Okay, and liberals love to, I'm sorry folks, but you love to save the other. You love to save people who you consider to be someone who needs to be saved. Okay, and that's, when you reduce it down to that, okay, this reductive thinking, you reduce it down to that, you make that other person less than a person, right? There's somebody who needs to be saved by you. And the Democratic Party and liberals in general just love causes, they love symbols, and the reason they love them is because it allows them to feel like they're doing good by saving, a human right, or they're saving a group of people, and they're basically doing sort of a reverse othering, okay? They're reducing a group of people to an other that needs their help, okay? So the same thing goes with the transgender issue. You've got this situation where a group of people need saving, okay? They need your help. Well, you know what? I think when it comes down to that, if people think about things that way, you don't really necessarily want to be saved, or do you? I don't know. It seems to me that I would feel very... Come here, Cub. Come on. I would... Hang on a second. Cubby, come here. It seems to me that people would feel that, you're not treating them like a human being, that you're not treating them like the person that you claim that you're treating them as. You're just reducing them down to somebody who needs to be saved and protected. Okay? So, I'm sorry for the harsh news for you folks, but you have to start thinking about these things a little broader in context. The bathrooms are not the issue. The issue is the fact that transgender people are being treated a certain way. And that way is not the way they necessarily want to be treated, and I think that you would feel the same way. But don't treat them like, they're a cartoon. They are not a cartoon. They are not somebody who needs to be saved. Let's all work together to have everybody be treated like we want to be treated ourselves. Okay, let's work together to do that. But we can't reduce the argument. We can't reduce the whole campaign or issue down to us saving somebody else. We have to work together. And we have to understand what their position is before we can do the work. Okay, so just stop treating people like victims and start working for them. All right, so I'm going to finish with a view of the houses. I never take pictures of the houses because everybody else does, but here we go. The painted ladies. Okay. You have a great Saturday. Enjoy the weekend. Whatever kind of weather you're having, enjoy it. And I will talk to you another time. Please support us. Go to our website, www.book-of-hours, that's OURS.com, and look for the donate button. All right, thanks a lot. Like us, hate us, make a comment, follow us. I'll talk to you later. I'm in the wind.